Have you ever lost a special person in your life due to mental illness and thought to yourself, if only I would have known? Although this can be a hard and sensitive topic to take in, today I want to take the time to inform you about a big factor in our society, which is suicide and suicide prevention. The topics that I will cover in this speech include common warning signs of suicide, resources that are available to help both civilian and military members, and bystander intervention. Something that we should ask ourselves is, what is suicide and what is a suicide attempt? Suicide is the death that's caused by someone injuring themselves with the intent to die. A suicide attempt is someone hurting themselves with the intent to die, but they do not die due to the result of their actions. Now that we know what a suicide and a suicide attempt are, we can go ahead and continue with the common warning signs that occur when someone is having suicidal thoughts. According to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, there are 3 categories that create those warning signs, which is talk, behavior, and mood. An example of talk would be if someone is talking about feeling hopeless, if they are being a burden, if they feel trapped, or if they feel like they honestly don't have a reason to live. An example of behavior would be if someone is withdrawing themselves from activities and from events that usually they are a part of, if they are isolating themselves from family and friends when they are usually the type of person to always want to be involved in situations like that, if there's an increase in alcohol or drug use that is usually not something that a person is always doing, and now all of a sudden you see them drinking more, you see them using drugs, it could be something to be alertful about. Or if someone is just calling and visiting families and friends as a way of them saying goodbye. When someone is having suicidal thoughts, it leads them to their mood and the way that they feel, which can also lead to them feeling depressed. If they're anxiety, they have a loss of interest in what they want to do, or they don't know what to do, they're very irritable, or they have relief or sudden improvement. Now that we have the knowledge about the common warning signs for suicide, now we can talk about the suicide prevention resources and programs that are available to both civilian and military members. On the American Association of Suicidology website, there are some effective suicide prevention resources such as the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and the Suicide National Prevention Live Chat, which is a 24/7 resource available to anyone that needs to have a conversation with someone or that needs to make a phone call. Those resources are set out for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for anyone that would like to use those resources, as well as a crisis text line. As for the military members, they also, if you go to the Navy Personnel Command website, which is also known as the NPC website, they have various lists of training, suicide prevention hotlines, and resources on how to cope and manage and deal with stress being a military member and dealing with everything that happens, taking care of your family, being in the military, and just dealing with the stress overall and being in an environment like that. Now that we know the warning signs and that we also know the resources that are available, now we can talk about the importance in being a bystander and being an active bystander. According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide is the 10th leading cause in the United States. Depression and other mental issues lead to suicide. Therefore, although there is no actual physical cure for suicide and there's no way that we can physically stop it, we can make a difference in someone's life if we have the knowledge on bystander intervention. If there are suspicions of someone having suicidal thoughts, talk to them calmly, offer support, and encourage them to make them feel that their feelings are legitimate. There are some people who feel lost, they feel unloved, they feel unappreciated, and when we see someone in that state of mind, simply making them feel special and making them feel wanted and making them know that if something were to happen to them, people would care, makes a very big difference in someone's life. It is important to listen without judging, to not just listen in general, but to be an active listener and let them know that what they're expressing to you, you're actually understanding the way they feel. People who have suicidal thoughts don't have much hope on what is going on in their current life or what happens in the future. They simply just have lost hope. Therefore, this is why it is important to have reassurance and to let them know that whatever they're going through in life, that they don't have to go through it alone. It is also important that although we are being supportive and we are letting them know, it is also good to let them know that they need help, that they need to seek that help and that care so that they can better themselves, so that they can, for a military member, it is good for them to seek that help so that they can help others and so that they can get themselves ready for whatever it is to come as being an active duty member. One of my favorite quotes is, "You never know what someone is going through. Be kind always." Suicide is an issue that continues to grow in civilian life and through the military. Stress, depression, mental health issues are all issues that should be important to us. We never really know what someone is going on in their life. This is why it is important to know the signs, to have the knowledge on the resources that are available, and to know when to step in, because we never know when we could be there for someone. There's many people that don't know how to ask for help, and then there's people that want the help but they don't know the resources, or they don't know who to confide in, because if I tell my boss, maybe I'll get fired, which is why sometimes reaching out to someone could potentially be a great thing and could potentially save their life. Life brings many struggles. Therefore, whether it is your coworker, a family friend, your brother or sister, or simply a close friend, it's important to ask the question, how are you? How are you doing? Is there anything going on in your life? How are you feeling? Because although those are simple questions that we can ask, and although it may seem weird to ask that question to someone, sometimes that's all a person needs for them to feel like you're interested in what is going on in their life. Because a simple question can lead to finding out that there is someone that actually needs help but doesn't know how to ask for it or doesn't know the resources that are available. You never know when you could create a big impact in someone's life, which is why it is important to have the knowledge and the resources and know how to be an active bystander when it comes to suicide and suicide prevention. Thank you for listening.